Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. The goal of this channel is to get you to making profits, preferably life-changing gains. Now, 90% of most people in crypto lose money. I want to change that. And it's alpha and strategies like this that can fast track you to becoming a whale. You can literally make life-changing gains between now and the rest of this bull run when it's over, if you understand this strategy. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you may have heard me talk about my very first coaching client. And it's a woman, and she started with about $60,000 of XRP. Her buy-in was like 72 cents. Well, she got tired of holding it and not making any money. So about 2 years ago, she sold her XRP. And she went on a tear. She has turned that $60,000 into about $1.5 million thus far. And she showed me this strategy. I watched her use it. It works. And now I know a lot of people that understand and use this strategy, including me. It's not the only thing I do. It's not the only thing she does, but this is the way to make the big money. Now, I want you to think back, guys. How many times did you take profits in this cycle, no matter when you started, right? Most people don't take profits because they don't understand the game. They don't understand what people are doing to make these markets so volatile. So when you get all FOMO'd up, listen to these influencers telling you you're going to get a Lambo, just hold on. They're out of their mind. You may luck up and bought the bottom and maybe somehow catch the top, but the odds are you're going to be in that 90% club. And if you're already in the 90%, what do you think is going to change? And if you're wrong, the bull run's over and now you're back into the bear market hoping for another cycle and another chance. Now, whether you agree with this or want to incorporate this strategy, you need to understand it. And we're going to talk about 4 different tokens. I own 3 of the 4, and I will be stacking the next one. These are great projects, so they're not just examples, but I want to show you some of the big power players that are incorporating this strategy of social arbitrage, and these happen to be tokens that are being used consistently. All right. If you don't understand what social arbitrage is, I'm going to tell you, but go to Grok, have them explain it to you. Social arbitrage in crypto basically refers to exploiting the differences in market sentiment and the attention, right? A lot of people are going to tell you, oh, well, this token's the best because it's faster, or it has the best tribe, or, you know, it's going to change the world. Okay, how's that working for you? Right? You can keep believing the hype, or you can use that hype and understand the game, take profits, or you'll become the profits. Now, some of the big boys in crypto, they're definitely in the 10%, but they're more like in the 5, maybe even the 2 or 1%ers of crypto. They use this, and they're very advanced. They use APIs to scrape like X with hashtags to find out what is the hot social arbitrage token of the day, the minute, the hour. They can do that across Telegram, pretty much Uniswap, and even the exchanges. Most people that are whales, called the smart money, they have a higher percentage strategy than you do. They have a better understanding. They have a lot of different ways to make money, and they're taking it from the 90%. Now, I want you to think about something, guys. When you hear something you disagree with, now, if you're in the 10% club, okay, keep doing it. But if you're in the 90%, you're like, no, this is wrong. I have 100 people to tell you that this strategy doesn't work or their strategy does. Well, out of that 100, probably 90 of them are going to lose money. So just keep that in mind. All right, here's something I want to bring to your attention. There's big guys, especially on X, that people follow. Ansem. I would guess that the majority of the 10 percenters that started with small money know who this guy is. He has 700 plus thousand followers. All right. And when he tweets something out, guys, here's the firestorm that happens. And that's why even on the down days when everything is red, there's a handful of tokens that are green and doing a 2, 3, 4, 5x out of nowhere. And I'm not talking about the brand new meme coins or the tokens that have no utility or anything. A lot of these projects go on to be very legit. But the big money is when it first takes off. And the earlier you're in and the sooner you take profits, the better you're going to do. Rinse and repeat the same project. That's what we're going to talk about. And that's these 4 tokens. All right. The last thing he tweeted out, guys, X'd out, was about Hyperliquid Exchange. Now, that's not a huge run up, but he just did that yesterday. And the thing's already ran, like 15%. Now, when they tweet out a big project like Hyperliquid, it's not really going to move the market. And you can feel comfortable pulling back from the dips. But hear me out. What happens? The firestorm that gets kicked off. When a big player like that sends out a tweet, what happens is people follow his wallet. They're big whales. There's 10 percenters that follow that. There's Telegram groups that all have their money already ready to jump in and pump this thing up. So when you have, this is another example. When you have a guy like Murad, everyone knows who he is. He has over 700 followers too. Right now, SPX6900. He's been promoting it over and over. Now, guys, when he bought in, I'm sure he did that before he made the tweet. So then 700,000 people see that. They punch up the chart. It starts to move. And then all those Telegram groups, all those people following his wallets, they all start to jump in. What do you think he does? He starts taking profits. So when you see things ripping, people go, oh my God, everyone's buying SPX 6900. Well, who'd you buy it from? If you're buying it, someone sold it to you. You can bet that guy's in the 10% club and you're in the 90%. You're on the wrong side of the equation. Odds are you're going to buy high. They're all going to take the profits and it's going to pull back. You'll panic and sell. You're on the wrong side of the flow. And you need to understand stuff like this. Let's look at the chart, guys. Look at this. These big players, this project's only been around for 2 years. And it didn't do much until the end of November or September of 24. And then guys like this promoted it. It starts to rip. They take some profits. It starts to rip. They take some profits. It starts to rip. FOMO gets crazy. They take profits. Maybe they buy back in. Who knows? But then it rips again. Then they all start taking profits. And then now we're going into a bearish part of this cycle. And they just keep unloading, unloading. And then when everyone says, oh, well, that was a rug pull, that was a meme coin or whatever, they start the cycle over again. And that's what they're doing right now. So I don't own SPX 6900 right now, but I plan to buy the pullbacks. And here's another one. I want you to think about. A lot of people know Fartcoin, and I was slow to the party, but I did get in at a really good price. But it was because I missed all this, and then I started, Fartcoin's always pumping. And then it's down and it's pumping. So when I started researching it, Fartcoin has 2 mechanisms to make money. It's a money printing machine for the owners, the founders, the ecosystem, and everyone involved. It has more ability to make profits for people than 90% of the so-called utility tokens that don't make any money, and people just speculate off of the utility. But when push comes to shove, the 99% of all these tokens are going to disappear, especially as an investment. And it's the ones that don't make money are not going to stick around as good investments. You may have something like HBAR that takes over the world with Wall Street, but it doesn't have to go to $2, $5. It can stay at 20 cents for 1,000 years and still be a top layer one. It's just not going to be an investment, maybe. That's just some more alpha. I know that triggers people, but bear with me. Now look at this, guys. This is something you have to understand when you don't want to take profits. Please hear me out. Okay, this is Crypto God John. Okay, he's got like 850,000 followers. He's definitely a 2 or 1%er. But I want you to understand something. On the 5th, he posted this chart and basically said, I'm going to buy more Fartcoin. Look at this. Okay, let's go to the 5th. When was the 5th? Let's see, May 5th, April, May, yeah. Right there. And look what happened. And I guarantee you, he's out. Now, how do I know this? Well, let's look at what he posted the next day. Now, see, it's like when I mentioned that I short all the time, especially like when I short XRP on leverage, and people go, oh, it didn't crash like you said. Guys, we're not betting the crash. Small moves. Let me show you the difference of how people that get in that 10% club make money, how they think, how they have very little risk compared to the hodlers. He posted that one day. He knows all those people, that whole cycle that I talked to you, Telegram groups, all the people tracking his wallet. He said, I'm buying basically Fartcoin. He showed the chart. He's already in. I guarantee it. Okay. He bought it at 92 cents. It only went to $1.06. That's no big deal, right? So most people are barely making profits. I think that's a 15% move. All right, you put in $1,000, you're not going to take profits, but look what he did. He did it on 100x leverage. So he made 151%. So if he did that with 10,000, he made 25,000, and he probably did it more like with 100,000, and he made $250,000 in a day. And then you wonder why this stuff comes back, because the big money, the smart money's not sitting there holding for life-changing gains. They're making it day in, day out, week in, week out. People swing trade. I'm always telling people, take profits or you'll become the prophets. And if you are thinking about taking a handful, but you're like, I don't know, add some zeros, guys. Pretend or think about the guys using leverage. If someone puts in $1 million and he gets 30%, what do you think he's going to do? That's $300K in a day, in a week, in a month. He's going to start dumping that. And he knows all the big money got in when he did, right? Just like right now, Bitcoin dropped barely under 100K or right at 100K, last week? And then it rallied all the way back up to 108? Guys, and people see that and everyone's going, oh my God, everyone's buying Bitcoin. No, the smart money's selling Bitcoin right this minute. They bought at 100. They put $1 million in and they catch that big move up. I mean, I know that's only 8%, but when you do it on leverage or you do it with $50 million, because in Bitcoin, not all people, you got the whales of Wall Street and the hedge funds and the market makers. They're making that 8%, but 8%, if they do that in a week, guys, more than they're going to make in the S&P in a year. That's why things always come back. And that's why I like to short. Now I'm going to show you another example. Alex Becker just did another video. He has millions of followers across multiple platforms. And when he definitely spits out a new token, it starts to rip. Now, my very first time I implemented this strategy, I didn't really implement it. I'm more aggressive with it now, but I understood Superverse because when it comes to gaming, guys, it's the who's token. Elliott trades. He's the creator. Everyone, I mean, every founder, like the Gala founders, you name a good solid beam, it doesn't matter. You name a project in gaming, and the devs and the developers and the teams, they're all in Superverse. Any of those guys can put out a video and Superverse is going to rip. So I didn't care anything else about that. And so when I realized that they can move this token 30% with a video, and when we get into altcoin season and when gaming gets that rotation and they start telling you to pump Superverse and Superverse starts to rip, it's going to pump. That's the only reason I bought it. Now, I started buying it back here. I want to show you something. Now, I bought back here, and when it started to rip, I started taking profits. I got out the first time a little early, and it kept ripping. But that's okay. I made like a 3.5x. Look, guys, it fell apart, and I got out way better than the guy. So think about this, guys. You got two guys put in 10 grand. One guy sold a little early, got out at 3.5x. He left like 2 more X on the table. The other guy didn't sell. He laughed. A month and a half later, I get to buy back with my 35,000 with my 3.5x. He's down and starting over. So he can buy more, but he's probably just going to hodl. He doesn't have any dry powder. I did the same thing. I stacked. I started dollar cost average and out. I did not catch the top. It ran off again. I'm okay with that. I made like a 2.5, 3x again. And then it fell, and I actually started stacking a little bit early. But I stacked dollar cost average all the way down, and now I'm already back in profits. And I'm not telling you that to brag, but he just did a video about Superverse. There you go. It came out today. You see what I mean? When he mentioned Superverse, that's just one of the gaming founders. They're all in it. That Neo Tokyo group, you got to have an NFT to get in Neo Tokyo. It's the same guys. Those NFTs are like 30 grand. Sometimes they've been 100 grand just to join the big boys club. But I understood that. And see, that's what I'm trying to bring to your attention, guys. If you want to make the big money, this is one way to do it. But what I like to do when things pump, like if today was a really red day and Superverse did this, I would short it. That's what I like to do because they can pump a token on the red days. That's what they do. They buy it low, they send it out. There's thousands, if not millions of guys that do this. And a lot of them can move the markets. So in a red day, when something's just running, a lot of times it'll run, 2, 3x in a day for no reason. Definitely things run 30, 40, 60, 90%. We see it constantly. Well, when I see that, I short it. Because if we're having a big red day and some big power player in his group jumped in and pumped a token, they're taking profits. It's going to come back. That's the game. It's the lowest risk, best percentage that I've ever seen. Now, if it was altcoin season and this thing did a 3x today, it may do a 3x tomorrow and the next day. I'm not going to short it, right? I may even chase the green candles during altcoin season. But until then, this strategy is awesome. And if you get in early, it's going to work even more in altcoin season, and you can hold them longer. But the key to making money as crypto, guys, is not to hodl, not to lose money. Take profits, get your initial investment out as soon as humanly possible. And you're guaranteed to win. But everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to leave it on the table. Guys, I've left a lot on the table at least 7 times, at least in this cycle. But guess what? Not one, and I mean not one, didn't come all the way back. So if I would have held it another week, another month, definitely another 6 months, I would have lost all of it. and I'd be sitting there with no dry powder. I'm here to tell you guys, this strategy works. Understand the game, and that's just one game. There's thousands. There's market makers games that they play on you, exchanges. Guys, I just found out today, and I'm going to make a video about it, that wash trading is legal around the world in crypto. Regulation hasn't got there yet. So who do you think does wash trading? Binance, Kraken, all the big crypto exchanges that are not in America, they're still wash trading. So that's why, guys, nothing can maintain a pump. They really are like crypto. I mean, cryptos are like commodities. They're not stocks. This is not Tesla with regulated Wall Street and Tesla making money and hitting their numbers, and you actually own a piece of the pie. These are commodities. The only way to really make money in commodities is speculation. If you get a freeze with orange juice and it spikes, you take profits. It's coming back. Lumber, everything pumped during COVID. Well, guess what? When a 2x4 gets to $11, it fell all the way back to like $3.50 because people stopped building houses. There's no profit in it, right? These companies, guys, these utility tokens like XRP, XLM, HBAR, Algorand, they take their tokens and they build things with it, especially Ripple. Ripple's a perfect company that understands what commodities are. XRP is like a 2x4, and Ripple builds houses and sells it. They don't technically make money from the 2x4, which they do because they have so much they can dump on everyone, but it has no value if you're not putting it to use. People keep telling, everyone that these utilities tokens have an immense amount of value. They don't make any money, and they're going to be like power lines or railroad tracks. They're just going to be the rails. A ledger does not have a value, guys. Once this speculation goes away, there's going to be hundreds of thousands of ledgers, right? Utility tokens are going to be everywhere. Stable coins. Google will probably have its own stable coin. Everyone, your local bank will probably have its own stable coin, right? JP Morgan has instant settlement with stable coins with their tokens already, but they make money. But that doesn't help us out. Anyway, I know I'm on my high horse, guys. If you need some help understanding the games of cryptos, or someone to look at your portfolio and help you get a game plan, help you understand tokenomics and how the game is played, and it's not just this game, reach out. I have a 3 Zoom call package. I have which I think is the best value. I have a portfolio package. Course has 18 videos. We go through your portfolio. You go watch the course. It gives you everything you need to get a game plan, to get a strategy, how to dollar cost average in and out, everything you need. I also have a shorting course, which I think is the best way to make money in crypto, and I think is the best shorting course I've personally ever seen. Maybe I'm biased, but it works. And I have an inner circle. So guys, if you need some help, reach out. Now, whether you take me up on that or not, guys, do yourself a favor. Do your non-biased research. Because, guys, I do deep dives every day. I do, 20, 30, 40, 50 hours a week of deep dives. And the more you know, and the more you understand, the more you realize, guys, 90% of everything you hear is straight BS. It really is. These influencers just make things up. They're just wanting to grow their channel, and they know if they tell you to buy a token and you bought it, you fell for the lies and the FOMO, and now you're down 80%, you're just going to keep coming back. He's telling you every day, you're getting a Lambo, stay with it, hodl. One thing that drives me insane, these influencers used to go bull run to bull run. No one got into crypto to hold something 10 years. No one. Buy Tesla, buy NVIDIA, buy Circle IPO. If you're going to hold something for 10 years, the risk reward is a heck of a lot better. 99% of these projects are going to disappear. But what happened, these influencers were wrong 3 bull runs ago. So they kept telling you. Then they were wrong in the next bull run. And now they're wrong and they're making these crazy predictions. Whatever project's going to go to the moon, you get a Lambo, and then all of a sudden you're not even in profit in your favorite tribal token. And you're wondering why you're going to lose money. Well, now they're moving the goalposts. Well, in 2030, good God, buy Bitcoin, buy crypto, or buy stocks, buy real estate. If you're only going to hold out for 10 years to hope that those guys who lied to you and moved the goalpost finally, that ain't why anyone got into crypto, guys. I say all that with love. Anyway, hit that like button. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But either way, come back and get this type of alpha, because we're going to get you in that 10% club if I have anything to do with it. Not financial advice. But guys, I'm bullish. Take care.